Hello everyone who's watching live, and my name is Ihab. I'm an intuitive coach and the founder of the Highest Possible Expression movement. And in this quick video, I'm not sure actually if it's clear or not, because it's still, I don't know, it's still half day here, so I'm not sure if the screen is clear or not. It doesn't matter. I will shoot it anyways. Okay, I just want to share this video with my community very quickly, and then we'll jump into the subject. It's so funny when I want to share the video that I see myself speaking. It's kind of mind-blowing. It's like I'm speaking here seeing myself, and then looking there seeing myself. It's a bit narcissistic, but it's fine. Okay, share to page. Group. Boom. Okay. Here you go. So I want to talk about what's the implication, what's the results of the wrong understanding of reality. And when I mean wrong, I don't mean it in the paradigm, in the context of right and wrong. This is something I transcended long time ago, or at least I think I transcended long time ago. It might pop up every once in a while. But what I mean of wrong, unrealistic, it's not how reality really works. And more specifically, I mean where we think our source of feeling is. So for most people, including myself for a long time, at least not anymore, the source of feeling is something from outside. So something is causing me to feel that way. That's why if you ask anyone, how do you feel? They might say like, I feel sad, or I feel angry, or I feel pissed, or I feel worried, stressed, blah, 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 blah. And then you might ask them, but where that feeling is coming from? And the answer is almost the same. They're always pointing to something outside. Have you ever noticed that? It's either this person, the government, my dad, the work, how the world is, Donald Trump, my past, which is again something out, the circumstance. There's always something outside is causing you to feel in a certain way. Now, what's the risk in that? First of all, this is not reality. Because if something outside is causing you to feel a certain way, then that must be a principle. And if it's a principle, that means that you should feel the same way all time, all day, anytime in history, if that thing, stimulus, is in front of you. And not just that, every single person in humanity should feel the same anytime in any era of history. Much more like gravity. See, if we look to gravity, if 10 people are in a building and they want to jump, regardless their religion, regardless their color, regardless their belief system, they will fall down when they just jump out of a building. This is kind of a principle. Now, if we think our source of feeling is outside in, then that must be a principle. But surely that's not the case, because if that's the case, then there is no hope for you or for humanity. Then that means you will be experiencing that feeling over and over and over, no matter what the case is. And this is suffering. Now, what's the implication of that unrealistic understanding for reality? You will be looking for peace outside of you. You will be looking for joy outside of you. You will be looking for calmness, well-being, security outside of you. Because if the feeling is causing you to feel that way, then your mind, with that kind of philosophy, with that kind of understanding, it will try to seek to change something outside in order to feel peace, in order to feel calm, in order to reduce pain. Because our built-in mechanism is to go towards well-being, is to go towards peace. So it does make sense at this level of understanding. If something is causing me outside to feel pain, to go outside and change it. Now, what's the problem with that? you will consume tremendous amount of thinking, tremendous amount of energy, trying to manipulate reality, trying to control reality, try to shape reality in a way that it won't cause you pain. So let me give you a very small example. Something silly, but really it's very powerful to keep in mind. Imagine there is a restaurant, you really enjoy going there, you love the food there, you know all the waiters, the waitresses, you feel just like home there. And then you realized that one of the people that you don't like at all from your place, they start going there. Now if you think, I'm feeling bad because that person is there, what your mind will do with that kind of logic? You'll start to calculate what time that person usually go there. You might look actually to their Facebook statuses, to their check-in. And you start planning your life to go to that restaurant at the time where that person is not there. Or even worse, not going to the restaurant at all. Now that's a silly example, but this is how we approach our life when we think our feeling is from outside, which is not true, because our feeling is 100% is created via thoughts, is created via thinking. Even if we can't see it, that's the reality, that's the principle. Now, the good news, when you stop doing that, when you start seeing that I'm feeling my own thinking, your mind don't need to go outside to get out of that suffering, because it realized that the source of suffering is really a thought in my mind. And if it's a thought, your mind start to calm down, because your mind innately knows that a thought eventually will move away. More like a cloud in the sky. It just keeps moving and moving. It rises and it subsides. It rises and it subsides. So you will naturally drop into inner calmness. And that's your true self. That's home. That's who you really are. That vast space that resides beyond thinking and beyond feeling. So let's even simplify it more. Maybe you think that this person is causing me suffering, or this situation is causing me suffering, or this or that. Now what happened? You will find a ways so those people won't be part of your life. And you're going to be shrinking and shrinking and shrinking. And for me, that's what racism is. Racism is thinking that those group of people is causing you to feel fear. Those group of people is causing you to feel insecurity. So you will start to avoid communicating with quote-unquote those groups of people, not knowing that at the core we are all one. And you start shrinking back into the group that thinks exactly the same way you think. And that's how racism comes to life. It's thinking that someone outside of you is causing you insecurity, so you start literally creating mental walls around you that you only welcome people that you think that's not causing you insecurity, and those people who are the people that think exactly the same exactly the same way you think. So you start excluding anyone who's not a complete copy of your thinking, which in most cases someone from other countries, someone from other religions, someone from other family. That's at least the case in the Middle East. So when you realize that no one is causing me to feel anything and it's really a thought in my mind, you start to become more open, more receptive, more compassionate, more understanding, and you start expanding your horizon instead of contracting and going against the universal process of evolution, if I want to put it that way. Now the implication of that is not just that, it's massive. Once you start to see I'm feeling my own thinking, you will start to see in front of your eyes how much energy and time you've been wasting trying to look for calmness and peace outside. And then you realize that it's always inside. Not metaphorically, but literally it's always inside. Because if that pain I'm feeling now, or suffering or stress I'm feeling now, it's a thought, that's fine. But if something outside, then my mind will go crazy trying to find the reason of it, going into content of thinking. And that's what psychology has been doing for years. That's what therapy has been doing for years, diving into the content of thinking. I'm feeling worried. Okay, what's the content of thinking? Where that came from? What's my childhood? What's the cause of that? Instead of realizing that I'm feeling worried because of a worry thought. Period. And when that realization kick into your being, you gain yourself back, you gain your life back, you gain your well-being back, which already been there all the time, but at least you become aware of it. And that's, for me, the ultimate victory any human can reach. This is the treasure every human is seeking. To remember their true self, to feel home, to go back home. Now let me give you an example of something. Maybe someone told you that if you try something new, you might fail. And they bombard your mind with ideas about failure. Failure is bad, failure, blah, blah, blah. At least I've been told those stories when I was young all the time from everyone. Failure, 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 and anyone who's trying a new project, they lost all their money, and all that quote-unquote scary stories. Now, in my mind, failure is something that causes suffering. So I don't go and try anything. The moment I start to realize that I'm feeling my own thinking, I realize that even failure is a thought. Failure is a thought. So it's not scary anymore to go and try, because anything that can quote unquote go wrong, it's eventually a feeling. So to give you just an example of that, in the past, if I want to do a program, if I wanted to do a video, I might have an idea, okay, what if it failed? What if it failed? Now when I realize that even if it was the crappiest video ever, I don't need to call it failure. Even if no one showed up, I don't need to call it failure. The one that gives it meaning and call it failure is a thought. So at the moment, I'm experiencing the feeling of a thought. And when I realize it's really a thought, failure is a thought, success is a thought, all my feelings is a thought, there is nothing scary anymore, and I can go and I can learn and I can progress and I can grow. It just, action becomes effortless because there is no much thinking. I'm not stuck in my head anymore thinking what if, because I realized whatever happened at the deepest level is really a feeling. Like the biggest catastrophe, it's really a feeling if you boil it down. And that feeling, the source of it is a thought, not outside world. So I'm always safe. Because if it's a thought, I know that behind that thought there is the source of all wisdom, the source of all solution that's available for me and available for every human, because it's not personal. This is what God, what true self, what spirit, what soul is. It's that vastness that exists in every human. And that understanding that you're feeling your own thinking opens you up to a world of infinite possibility. It will change your reality completely. And the reason we don't see that is very simple. Ego. We're just too stuck that this is how things are. I am right. This is this feeling is caused by this, by that, by this. And really to see beyond that, it means to go beyond your ego. But the thing is, your ego is the source of your suffering. So to see beyond that is to access peace. You can't access peace while seeing that life happening from outside in. Now, I will speak more about this understanding. Very soon I will do a program, 6 weeks program. It will be online, once a week, 2 hours, once a week, live. We'll take a group of people with a very reasonable price that everyone is capable to pay. And we'll take people a journey through that understanding week after week after week after week. I will talk more about the program very, very soon. I didn't decide it will be Arabic or English. That's something I will decide soon. Probably the program will be next month or something. So just be ready for it. And if they have any comments, anything to share, just put it here and I will make sure to respond to it. Thank you so much, everyone. See you later. Bye-bye.